Expanded scope of rights that people have, and that's with respect to the intellectual property that you have on those things, is also for getting something called a resale royalty, which is not understood by a lot of artists. For example, when you make your first painting and you've not become that popular. Let's say you sold it for 60,000 rupees, but over 10 years, your body of work has become very, very well known, very well recognized. Then the person who's collected that art piece of 60,000, and if that person is now selling it, let's say that person is an art collector, that person is selling it, let's say for 5 lakh rupees. A lot of artists forget that when they are making that first transaction, they should enter into proper agreements, especially if it is artistic work, so that they can get resale royalty.
That's a really a new thing for us to learn actually.
Yes, and that's the most important and beautiful part about intellectual property. That if you have created something which is unique, which has gained repute, then today the world is recognizing the right of an artist to have a resale royalty towards that piece.
That's great. But to me, I mean, this is very nicely told by you. So, is there any particular format or what sort of, or where should we go actually to get that particular language? Because I know I have made a painting today and I sold it for rupees 10. Now, after 5 years, it is selling for a price of rupees 100. And rightly said that I should get at least some part of it. So, how to proceed, how to further, I mean, what kind of, how you can help us in this regard?
Right. So, two-word answer, yours truly. हम हेल्प कर सकते हैं और ये यूजुअली कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स के थ्रू होता है. आपको आपके कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स के अंदर जो आप एंटर कर रहे हैं उस टाइम पे व्हेन यू आर सेलिंग योर फर्स्ट पीस, और जब भी आप दे रहे हैं तो आपको थोड़ा सा टाइम निकालना चाहिए. नीरज जी knows and Ritu ji knows that we work with artists even on pro bono basis. That's because we like the beautiful art pieces that all of you put your heart and soul into. So we feel that we should be able to help artists also in their journey when they are young and making it big in this world, and lend a small helping hand. So when entering into agreements, it's important to know the rights that come to you if you've created something unique, and that's one of them. It needs to be put in that agreement, whether it is with an art dealer or it is with an art collector, or it is directly being made to a gallery, if it is commissioned for a gallery, if it is being commissioned for a hotel or anything. You must know your rights and you must exercise them now.
Suppose, ma'am, some gallery comes to me and commissions some work, and I am not aware that who has made it, and later on that particular artist who has originally created that creation, can that artist, is it his right to sue me or the gallery who has commissioned me?
So what you are saying, let me repeat it, what you are saying is that you create an art,
Yes,
which is possibly an imitation of somebody else's art.
which I am not aware of.
You are not aware of.
Someone else has commissioned it to me.
See, the responsibility is largely, when you are preparing it, it's a work for hire. The concept the term that we used under the law is work for hire. If you are working for hire, the person who has commissioned you is directly responsible for the work which is being commissioned to you. That's the principle. But what happens is that when somebody would sue, he will sue you also because you are the one who has painted it. What normally we suggest in those cases is that even if that is happening, let there be a back-to-back agreement and indemnity given to you by the person who is commissioning that art. So that कल को कोई केस आता है तो आप ये बोल सकते हैं कि इन्होंने मुझे कमीशन करा, इन्होंने जो मुझे बोला मैंने बना के इनको वापस दे दिया, मेरे अगेंस्ट कुछ भी नहीं.
Got it. Very clear. The art is, medium of expression. Is there any particular limitations to this in our law? Or I am free to make anything?
So I'll give you one anecdote, which is a very recent one. Uh, there was a painting. Am I audible? Yeah. There was a painting by F.N. Souza, which was bought in an auction recently in London. That painting was imported into India by a corporate house. The narration of the painting for the customs purposes was written as nude painting by F.N. Souza. The painting landed in the customs. Customs seized the painting saying that it's an obscene material. Therefore, we will not release it and we will destroy this painting in 30 days. Imagine a corporate house buying a painting of F.N. Souza in an auction in London, landing, bringing it here and suddenly being told that we'll destroy it in 30 days. What would you do? Now the debate here is that whether an art which is of a nude form, whether that can be called obscene or not. So that would be the basic test. Under the Indian laws, including the old Indian Penal Code, the new Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, there are provisions which deal with obscenity. But there are equal protections available under the law, and there are judgments to that effect that what would qualify as an obscene. An artistic representation or visualization would or not cannot be termed as obscene. And there are certain tests and parameters laid for that effect. If you would recall, a similar controversy arose many years back. Certain paintings were done, Indian goddesses, and there was a huge cry and everything was there. And the courts came to the rescue of the artist, and they said this is nothing but this is pure art form. You can't call it obscene.
That's great. So I think I must hand over the mic to the audience because he has raised hands. And ma'am, sir.
I have a quick question. I'm a landscape painter. Now, there was a visitor today. He liked my paintings. He says, what is the guarantee that it is not a copy? Because this could be a scene somewhere that, you picked it up. Now, how can I get IPR on that? Can I do that? That's my simple question.
I'll answer it simply. You go to a beach and there is a sunset and two people standing next to each other see that sunset and click the picture. Now the debate is whether I own the right over that picture or he owns the right over that picture. Times of India publishes that picture in day 1. Hindustan Times publishes the second individual on day 2. Both the individuals would have their individual copyright over that picture. So, even if you have seen it, done something as an artistic work, every individual would have his own individual copyright over it.
Thanks. That's a good answer. Just one question on the previous point that you made. When you sell a painting to a gallery or anywhere, and let's say today it is priced at 50,000. 10 years down the line, it is sold at maybe a few lakhs, and I can go and ask for royalty on that, right? Now, if let's say I'm not selling it to any gallery, I'm not selling it to any big house, I'm selling it to an individual who tomorrow becomes a gallery maybe a few years down the line. And since I sold it to an individual, I did not sign up any contract. And then the same painting becomes very expensive at a later date and he sells further. Do I have any right on that? Or is it only that I have to have a contract, then only I have a case?
Mostly protected if you have an agreement.
Okay.
That's always the better guarantee, and it's not necessary that if you're booking or selling a painting to a gallery only then you need an agreement. Usually it's for scenarios like this, that person who's collecting the art today, we are litigating this one. The person who's collecting the art today would actually become a big art dealer tomorrow. You don't know that, even he or she may not know that, right?
Yeah.
So the idea is that when you are selling your original art piece, have these resale royalty clauses in on day 1. The other clause that I suggest now, more often than not, is arbitrations. If it's not pertaining to manuscripts which are 150 years old, or it's not something that's covered under a different act altogether, which pertains to antiquities, etc. If it's your original artwork, have arbitration. Those help. Those clauses help. These are few things that are coming up.
and are becoming realities not only in India but also overseas.